Hello and welcome back to my channel. In today's lecture, we will discuss an important concept of grammar, subordinating conjunction. So, what is subordinating conjunction? A subordinating conjunction is a type of conjunction that introduces a subordinate, means the dependent clause, connecting it to the main, means the independent clause in a sentence. The subordinate clause cannot stand alone as a complete sentence, but depends on the main clause for its meaning. Subordinating conjunctions often indicate the relationship between the two clauses, such as time, cause, purpose, result, condition, concession, and comparison. So, subordinating conjunctions can be classified according to the type of relationship they establish between the main clause and the subordinate clause. Let's discuss this breakdown based on different relationships. So let's discuss the first relationship, conjunctions of time. Conjunctions of time are used to introduce a subordinate clause that provides information about when the action in the main clause occurs. The conjunctions of times are after, before, when, while, as soon as, since, until. For example, she went to bed after she finished her homework. So in this example, she went to bed, it is an independent clause, and after she finished her homework is the subordinate clause. And this subordinate clause indicates the time when the main action occurred. Next example, before the sun sets, we need to reach the campsite. In this sentence also, we need to reach the campsite is the independent clause, and before the sunset is the subordinate clause, and it describes when the main action occurred. I will call you when I arrive at the airport. She likes to listen to music while she works. And I will let you know as soon as I receive the information. They left as the clock struck midnight. We have known each other since childhood. You can play outside until it gets dark. These are all the examples that indicates the time when the main action occurred in a sentence. The next relationship is the conjunction of cause. Conjunction of cause are used to introduce a subordinate clause that provides the reason or cause for the action in the main clause. And the conjunctions are because, since, as. He didn't come to the party because he wasn't feel well. In this sentence, he didn't come to the party is the main clause, and because he wasn't feeling well is the subordinate clause. And it explains the reason behind the main clause action. In the same way, since it was getting late, we decided to leave. We decided to leave is the main clause, and since it was getting late is the reason for leave. He couldn't concentrate on his work as he was distracted by the loud noise outside. In the sentence, he was distracted by the loud noise is the reason why he could not concentrate on his work. Next is the conjunctions of purpose. Conjunctions of purpose are used to introduce a subordinate clause that explains the goal or intention behind the action in the main clause. Conjunctions are so that, in order that. She worked hard so that she could pass the exam. Here, the subordinate clause, so that she could pass the exam, expresses the purpose or goal of the main action, which is the working hard. Next example, he saved money in order that he could buy a car. Next one is the conjunctions of result. Conjunctions of result are used to introduce a subordinate clause that expresses the consequence or result of the action in the main clause. So that, such that are the example of this conjunction. It was so hot that we decided to go swimming. Here, the subordinate clause, so hot that we decided to go swimming, indicates the result or consequence of the extreme heat. In the same way, the music was such a hit that everyone started dancing. Conjunctions of condition. Conjunctions of condition are used to introduce a subordinate clause that expresses a condition or circumstance upon which the action in the main clause depends. And the conjunctions are if, unless, even if. If it rains, we will stay indoor. Here, the subordinate clause, if it rains, introduces a condition that determines the likelihood of the main action. I will go to the party unless I have to work. And she will go on a trip even if it rains. Here, even if it is the condition in the sentence. Next is the conjunctions of concession. Conjunctions of concession are used to introduce a subordinate clause that expresses a contrasting idea to the main clause. Conjunctions are although, though, while, whereas. Although it was cold, they went for a walk. Here the subordinate clause, although it was cold, introduces a contrasting condition, emphasizing that despite the cold weather, they still went for a walk. It was sunny, though they decided to stay indoors. He enjoyed the concert while his sister found it too loud. John likes tea, whereas his sister prefers coffee. And the last one is the conjunctions of comparison. Conjunctions of comparison are used to introduce a subordinate clause that establishes the relationship of similarity or difference between the main clause and the subordinate clause. Conjunctions are than, as, like, just as. She is taller than her sister. Here the subordinate clause than her sister establishes a comparison between the heights of two individuals. He can run as fast as his brothers. He runs marathons like his father. So in this sentence also there is comparison between him and his father. She painted the picture just as her teacher had instructed. So it's all about subordinating conjunctions. Understanding these conjunctions and their functions can enhance your ability to construct complex sentences with different relationship between clauses. Thank you for watching.